Episode 3954, How Do You Shift in Real Time?
Moms, it's time to rediscover, rejuvenate, and renew who you are in mind, body, and spirit. Welcome to Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie, the show to help you do just that. Here's your host, certified life coach, personal trainer, and nutritionist, Christiane Wargo.
Happy day. I hope this episode finds you warm and safe and secure. The weather has been absolutely treacherous. I know down here in the South, we've got limbs falling down. Praise the Lord, I'm lucky and very blessed. We still have power. And so that has been a blessing. I don't know where you are, but please stay safe. Don't go out on the roads if you don't need to. Everything can wait. Your life matters more than you just trying to be out there and seeing all the things. But today is all about mindset, right? Our leadership. How do we show up in our life every day and walk with God His way? How do you shift in real time? For those of you who are brand new to Create Your Now, welcome to this incredible family. I'm so delighted of your presence. If you already even had the opportunity, you want to head on over to createyournow.com where you can learn more and to sign up for the Kisses newsletter. The Keep It Simple strategy, everyday solutions to live, love, and impact. Well, this episode is brought to you by AIM, Inspiring Connection and Community. Talk about connection. I'm a little bit more connected to snow and sleet and freezing rain than I really wanted to. We haven't had this type of a storm system come through our area. Probably it's been about 8 years. When we first moved here, which was 8 years ago, actually, we had something similar. I would say not as bad, but something similar. And we're very blessed that the way the storm system moved, that we didn't get a lot of ice, where areas like Nashville and Oxford, Mississippi, they got just pummeled. And it just looks like a war zone. And I can understand that. We used to live in Kentucky. And when we lived there in 2009, there was the ice storm, and it was absolutely horrible. Short story. We moved in, signed for our house that night, woke up that next morning with absolutely no electricity, freezing in our home. We had two guys who had brought all of our belongings that were in a total of 2 semis that were already parked there because they arrived almost 2 days prior to us. They knew the storm was coming in, but we didn't know how bad it was going to be. And so it was my husband and I and the 2 drivers that unloaded. Took 4 days to unload all of our personal belongings in our brand new house. We met our neighbors in the dark, and it truly looked like a war zone. When you walked outside, there was nothing but ice everywhere. We lost the only tree on our property. We moved into a neighborhood. It was a beautiful neighborhood, but it was gone. And I was like, wow, I hope this doesn't say what, is going to come. And many stories have come out of that, but it's just interesting, right? Life isn't a straight path. Sometimes we think it is. And we think we have it all figured out, but it's a wild mix of flavors, textures, highs, lows, setbacks, comebacks, wins, and losses. You grind to reach a certain milestone, but just when you think you've arrived, reality reminds you there's more hustle, there's more growth, there's more shifting to do. So how do you shift in real time when life throws you curveballs? Are you one who is the type of person who acts like you've already done the hard work, like you've ticked off the box, like, got this, I'm done, only to wash your hands of responsibility? Like, I don't need to learn anymore. I got this. I read the book. I'm in it. I do it. It's fine. Then you lean back waiting for the next step to come to you. Or maybe you're the type that challenges yourself to digest every lesson learned and push further no matter what. Like, what more can I do? What more can I learn? Well, I'm going to kind of slap on this, or maybe I should say I'm going to pull off the Band-Aid more so. The truth is nobody completely arrives. Not until you get to the other side, when God calls you home. My opinion. We are always learning. When I come on here, I don't have the end-all be-all. It would be nice, but I don't pretend to know it all because I don't. I learn every single day. I'm stretched, and I want to learn. I want to dive deeper. I want to know more about who my family is, all of the personality traits. I want to know more about me. I want to know more about God. I want to know about what He has for my purpose here on earth and what He's doing for me when He calls me home. And those who think they've checked all the boxes often get stuck. They lose sight of the fact that shifting, changing, evolving on the fly is a constant, right? Change is a constant. And that means we have to learn to be flexible. We have to learn to shift. We have to learn to evolve. But unfortunately, we cling to the illusion of being done, and we miss the point entirely because we think we've arrived. So if arrival isn't the goal, what is? What is your goal in life? When you woke up this morning, what did you say you wanted to accomplish? Maybe you are in not as craziness as we are, but I think this went through how many states? 40 states or so. They said over 2,300 miles. And as I watched all the different weather models, and it would change like every hour and a half to 2 hours. And there were points that I was traveling, by the way. I drove in coming off of the road from a conference down in Florida, stopped in another place to visit my family and see the grandbabies and all of that, and see a few of my babies as in my children. And then I came on in, but that was like 2 weeks being gone. And I had to make sure I got here in front of the storm, which I did, by the way, safely. And praise the Lord, all has been well so far. I keep praying over the home. I pray over all the trees and the bushes. I pray over the water. And I just say, Lord, please just help us get through this little bit. Because you know we've had our struggles with water here. And we just completed renovations. And I'm like, I do not want to get stuck in another renovation. Sometimes it's great, but I'm like, no, I'm done. We finished it. It's complete. Now let's live, right? But sometimes we put definitions in our life and we stick to those instead of stepping back and seeing what God is doing, the work He wants to do in our life. So if arrival isn't the goal, what is? What is it for you? Is it just to complete the laundry? Cook a magnificent meal every night? Nothing wrong with that. I'm just asking you, why? Because you're listening to me right now, and none of us take time to dive deep into this. I told you, this year is going to be a deep dive. We're going to get down to some things that we don't like to talk about. We're going to get down to some things that are going to change your life because it's changed my life. And we're going to walk through some things together. I know we will. We're going to go through some valleys. We're going to go through some beautiful mountaintops and sunrises and sunsets. And then we're going to come together and we're probably going to have to hold each other and cry. And then we're going to have to hold each other and celebrate. Because there's two sides, right, to every coin. So how do you stay flexible and shift in real time? How do you get to the point where, yes, you are doing what you're supposed to be doing in the moment that you're doing it? What does that look like? That is your Kiss to Keep It Simple strategy. Shift in real time. You got to be flexible. You got to stretch a little bit. And none of us like to because we don't like to exercise much. Honestly, I was looking outside 2 days ago when the storm first kind of came in, and I was like, oh, I remember when I used to run in this stuff. I did. We lived up north, and I would bundle myself up. Now, eventually, after about a couple miles, I would then start taking off, like, oh, it was just so hot because I had so much, energy and heat built up within me. And so I didn't have to have all the layers upon layers. I just ran with gloves and a hat and a scarf, and I was good to go. I had my, fleece leggings on and a really warm shirt, and I was good. But when I started, I had to have layers. You see, that's about shifting in real time, right? You start out and you need this stuff, and then you're like, oh, wait, but I don't need this all right now. We really got to start looking into the nitty-gritty, get our hands and hearts a little dirty so that our feet know where we're supposed to go. So what does it look like to shift in real time and to create that flexibility, that adaptability within our own lives? Number one, own your present without escaping into the past or future. That's a mouthful, because if you really think about it, own your present, meaning you got to be here and now, without escaping into the past or the future. Don't think too far ahead. Don't think too far behind. You can't shift effectively if you're trapped by what's already happened or distracted by what might come next. The moment demands your full attention. That's why you hear me say all the time, be present. It's a reminder that we need to be present because it's so easy to drift off in la la land. Whether la la land is the past, la la land is the future, or la la land is just la la land. That means facing your current challenges head on, right? Accepting what's there without blame or wishful thinking. Pretend you're on a battlefield. Your ability to see what's actually happening right now, not what you hope or you fear, will determine your next move. Don't you think that's pretty vital? It is. But if you're not present, you won't see it. Own your present without escaping into the past or future. Number 2, learn fast, then lean into action. Absorbing lessons without applying them is just mental busy work. Go back to middle school and high school, maybe even college. It wasn't very fun when the teacher just handed you out busy work. Well, that's kind of what we're doing here. If we're just like living our life and, okay, no big deal. It's just busy work, no big deal. You got to let it all soak in. Absorb it. Shifting means quick processing followed by decisive steps, even imperfect ones. Take your relationship with your spouse. If you're one who's saying, gosh, I wish I did a better way of being present when he walks home through the door after work. That's hard a lot of times for us women to do. Because why? We're at home. We've handled the kids. We've, taken care of their activities already. We've already done probably 1 to 2 loads of laundry, straightened the house 2 or 3 times, depending upon how many kids you have and the ages that they're in. Or you've gone to pick up kids 2 or 3 times, depending upon how many kids you have, right? And you're exhausted. And you don't want to be selfish about it, but he comes into the house and it's like, okay, what about me? When do you have time for me? And you're like, well, wait, what about me? I've been handling our kids all afternoon, or maybe it's all day, whatever it is for you. You don't even ask me how I'm doing, but you expect me to do that for you. I know, been there, done that. But you're like, I want to be there. I want to learn. I want to be that better spouse. And so you learn the strategies and tools, how to serve your man when he walks in the door. Maybe we need to review that. We won't do that now, but maybe we'll leave that for another episode. But you see, it's one thing just to, I know I need to do that. But have you applied it? Have you actually put it into action? Create Your Now is here for a reason, right? It's to take aim. Action ignites motivation. It's to move you forward, not to keep you stuck. You're not supposed to be sitting on the sidelines. Mama Sports Center, nope, I don't want you there. It's time to get in the game of life. And so you've got to understand the process and then guess what? Be able to apply it, right? Don't wait for all the answers or a perfect plan because it's not going to come, but you got to practice it. Practice is progress. Think of it this way too. Theory without action is a dead end. If you're just doing mental busy work, that's it, but you're not taking action, then you're basically stuck. You're at a dead end. Can't go any further. Good luck. Have a great life. Now, I know that sounds harsh, but I'm being real with you. Learn fast, then lean into action. And then finally, number 3, keep your identity fluid, but grounded. Know who you are, but don't get rigid about it. Holding on to a fixed self-image blocks growth and blinds you to the signals life sends, meaning God's trying to tell you something. You're like, I already got this. I don't need you, Lord. And you may not say it that way, but your attitude in your mind is like you just discount things. You're not as hyper aware. You're not as observant because you're like, I got this figured out. Thanks, Lord. I'll let you know when my next 911 situation happens. Instead of pretending you've arrived, be honest about who you are and who you are becoming, where you are and where you're going. You got to keep your identity fluid. In my opinion, you got to stay connected to your Heavenly Father. Because I'm telling you right now, He will reveal something to you every single day. It's amazing. But you have to be willing. You have to see things with a different set of lenses. So I mentioned Mama's Sports Center. Yep. Well, let's play some Monday morning quarterback. Whoop, whoop. Yes, because Mama Sports Center is in the house today. So take, for example, the 4 NFL teams vying for that chance to play for the Super Bowl. Did you watch it? You had the Seattle Seahawks And hold on, the LA Rams, I have to think about this. I don't have these written down. It's off the top of my head. And then you had the Broncos and the Patriots, right? Did you watch them? Did your team win? Or maybe you're just rooting for someone else because your team isn't the top 4 anymore. That's okay. My team's not there either. Not a problem. I still can enjoy the game of football. I enjoy the game of football. I want good games. I want to see it. I want people to utilize their gifts and talents because I can't do what they're doing. And it fascinates me. The patterns that they come up with, the decisions that they make. Oh my goodness, there's so many life lessons you can learn from just watching sports as a whole. So if you were watching the Broncos and the Patriots, you would have noticed that the weather wasn't that bad when they started out at the Mile High Stadium. Gorgeous. It went from those blue sunny skies to, a wintry mix of white snow with winds that made your eyes water. You couldn't see very well. And you had the Patriots in white, and you had the Broncos in their orange. Well, the Broncos could see each other, right? So if they're passing downfield, they've got a better visual. But if you got the Patriots, white on white, you can't see very well. It doesn't matter what kind of windshield wipers you have on your little fog machine on your mask, right? It doesn't. You're like, I can't see anything. And when you're running as fast as they have to run, or you're about to get tackled or pummeled by the other team, you don't have time just to wipe off who's going to hit me next. So you have to adjust. The Broncos, well, they didn't figure it out. I believe the final score was 10-7. Yeah. Interesting. There were multiple field goals that were missed. And it was interesting because I thought, these 3 points. The Broncos chose to go for it. And I was like, they should have kicked it. It was in the first half, or actually first quarter. Well, which would have been the first half, but you know what I'm saying. It was the first quarter. I'm like, that's going to come back and haunt them. And it did. Because even if they missed and played everything else out the same, right? The weather wasn't a factor then. They probably would have been tied. And it would have gone into overtime. Now, of course, that's, just kind of playing it in our head. But still, those 3 points came back to haunt them. However, though, if you look at the Patriots, they found a way to keep their defense effective. So they didn't have to worry about scoring another goal. It was more about holding on to the points they had and keeping the Broncos stuck way back in their own field position. They threw the ball away. May threw it away on purpose on the third down because they knew they weren't going to get a first down. So why chance an interception and them to score? Instead, let's just give it up and kick it on the fourth down and pin them back. If you believe life is about becoming, your daily shifts become part of a legacy, not just survival. And that means you're upsetting the autopilot of complacency. And that's what the Patriots did. They had to find a way. They didn't look at, oh my gosh, if we just do this one play, we've got the Super Bowl. No, it was play after play after play after play. They didn't get ahead of themselves. I'm not saying the Broncos did. I'm just using them as an example, the Patriots. But I think we sometimes act like either the Broncos or the Patriots. We don't make the adjustments. We keep doing it the same way, even though, we think we've got it down. We think we know it. And then we don't. And then we find ourselves stuck and we can't get out of our own way. But if we do, and we say, no, I want to lean in. I want to learn. I want to keep going. I want to adjust. That adaptability is a big deal. You're playing more like the Patriots did yesterday. Now, I'm not saying that's the team that you chose. Again, I'm just giving these two teams as an example for you to see how this kind of stuff works. Life isn't easy, and it won't be ever. I get it. But again, if you believe life is about becoming, your daily shifts become part of a legacy. It's not just about I've arrived. So imagine if you did stop trying so hard to arrive or prove that you made it, doing something to tell whoever it was that hurt you in elementary school or high school or college or someone down the street. Look at me. Look at me. Look what I did. WIIFM. What's in it for me? I did it. I did it. I have overcome. I'm on top of the world. But what if you stop doing that? What if you stop trying to not necessarily draw that attention? Because I don't think we are doing that. I don't think we get up on a mountaintop and say, hey, look at me. Our attitude may say that. Our actions may say that. But we may not be boisterous about it. We may not use those words, but we still have this, oh yeah, look at me. But what if you stopped? What if you were simply willing to become? Trusting the process, embracing the shifts, adjusting in real time. How would that change how you show up daily? For yourself, for your family, for your furry dogs, or if you have kitty cats, or whatever furry cute creatures you have. My grandson right now is interested in watching hamsters and what they do on YouTube. I think it's hysterical. But those are cute furry creatures. I had guinea pigs. So, whatever your furry cute creatures are, maybe it's horses or cows or pigs. Okay, pigs really aren't furry, but that's for another episode. How differently would you see your world if you dropped the illusion of completeness? This whole idea that I've arrived. Jesus didn't walk that way. He more than arrived. He kept learning. He kept growing. He kept watching. He was stretched. You see, the truth is, real life demands adaptability. It demands awareness. It demands resilience. Those who master real time shift. They don't waste time pretending they finished their journey. Instead, they lean into what's next, eyes wide open. One step at a time leads to miles of greatness. That, my friend, is the journey that you're on. That's where you're headed. Your Super Bowl of life. Wouldn't it be awesome to know that when you get to the other side and God calls you heavenward, that he meets you and greets you and says, well done, good and faithful servant. Well done. Because you see, it wasn't about you. It wasn't about the accolades or the achievements. Yes, those are all important. It wasn't about how much money you made. It wasn't about how much money you left the family. It was about being a living legacy. You're not aiming to be a finished product. You're crafting a living legacy that by each step you take, it leads to miles of greatness. So if you are acting as if you've arrived, stop it. Just stop. Show up raw, show up real, and ready to shift, because that's what keeps you moving forward, no matter what storm you must weather. I don't know what's on the horizon and the weather in the next few days. I pray you stay safe and warm. Make sure you check on those you love and a stranger too. Don't go out if you don't need to, if you've got ice and snow and all of that, because this too shall pass. Don't try to take things so fast that you forget what's right in front of you and you miss what God wants you to see. You were created on purpose for a purpose. Go in peace. Be present. Be incredible. Be you. I love you so very much. I cannot wait to see you on the other side. Blessings, hugs, and lots of love. We'll talk to you real soon. Have a glorious, blessed day. Bye-bye.
Feeling inspired, ready to train for life and love your journey? Visit createyournow.com for more incredible resources to help you along the way. We'll see you next time on Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie. And remember, always be sure you consult your physician before beginning any health and fitness plan.